It was my ex-husband. The same man who left me because he said I could never give him children. But that day, in the middle of a crowded mall, he was about to get the biggest shock of his life. Sit down, relax, and let me gist you this story. You will enjoy it. Please, before I proceed, kindly hit the subscribe button, like, and share video to your loved ones. Thank you so much. Hey everyone, let me tell you a story that still feels like something out of a movie. Honestly, if it didn't happen to me, I probably wouldn't believe it myself. It's a Saturday afternoon at the mall. The whole place is packed, kids running around, people shopping, music playing, the smell of food everywhere. Total chaos. And me, I was just there for something simple, a new pair of shoes. Nothing deep, nothing dramatic. Just a normal errand. I was walking, minding my business, when I looked up, and there he was. Liam, my ex-husband. He was standing across the shiny floor, coffee in one hand, phone in the other. He hadn't seen me yet, but my heart did this weird little flip. Not because I missed him, no. It was that shock you feel when you see someone you thought you'd left in the past forever. Memories came rushing in, good ones and painful ones. The man who once promised me forever, the same man who walked away because I couldn't give him children. My first thought, nope, turn around, walk away. But my feet, they didn't move. I just stood there. Something inside me wanted him to see me. And then, his eyes lifted. He saw me. The look on his face, priceless. He froze. Coffee cup stuck halfway to his mouth, phone slowly dropping, and he just stood there like a statue in the middle of all that crowd. I could almost hear his thoughts. He wasn't looking at the woman I am now. He was seeing the ghost of the woman he left 5 years ago. The woman he called barren. I can still hear his voice from back then. I love you, but I need a son to carry on my name. Those words cut me deep, made me feel like I wasn't enough. But here I was, years later, standing strong. Not broken, not empty. A woman who had built a whole new life from the ashes he left behind. And just at that moment, as if God planned it perfectly, a small hand slipped into mine. Mommy, can we go to the toy store now? A sweet little voice asked. His eyes darted down, and there she was, my daughter, about 4 years old, bright and beautiful, holding on to me with all the trust in the world. Then another voice joined. Mommy, is that man okay? He looks like he saw a ghost. And then the third child giggled, yeah, Mommy. A ghost. A scary ghost. The fourth quickly corrected, no, not scary. A surprised ghost. I looked down, and my heart swelled. 4 little faces. 4 pairs of sparkling eyes. My everything. My sun, my moon, my stars, all standing beside me, holding my hands, staring at the man who once left me because he thought I could never give him children. And in that moment, I didn't need to say a word. My life, my children, my joy, they spoke louder than anything I could have told him. Liam's mouth opened, but no words came out. He looked from one kid to the next, like his brain was short-circuiting. There was Lily with her bright red bow. Leo, my little troublemaker, with a dusting of freckles. Mia, with her kind, gentle eyes. And my sweet little Rose, holding her favorite stuffed animal. 4 of them, all the same age. For a second, I felt a tiny pang of something for him. The man who had walked away from me because he wanted a big family was now faced with the impossible sight of my own. I could see all the questions in his eyes. How? When? Why? They were a silent scream, but I could hear them as clearly as if he had shouted them. He was trapped in that moment, a prisoner of his own past. He was a stranger, and he was completely bewildered by the reality standing right in front of him. "Mommy," the first little girl said again, her voice a little more urgent. "The toy store." I finally broke our stare, a small, knowing smile on my lips. "Yes, sweetie. Let's go." I didn't say another word to him. I just squeezed the little hand in mine and started walking away, with a train of 4 little ones happily following me like a little parade. Their happy chatter was the perfect shield. It was a wall of joyful noise that blocked out the rest of the world. It was my perfect, protective bubble. As we walked, I could feel his eyes on my back. A powerful, hot gaze that felt like it was trying to burn a hole right through my coat. But I didn't turn around. I didn't need to. I knew exactly what he was thinking. I knew what he was feeling. It was that same shock, that same disbelief, that same regret that I had lived with for 5 long years. It was my turn to be the one who walked away. The kids, totally oblivious to the silent drama, were already chattering excitedly about the toys they wanted to see. Their little voices were like a balm to my soul, soothing the last little bit of hurt that had been stirred up by seeing him again. I didn't know what would happen next, but I knew this: I was no longer the barren woman he had left. I was a mother. I was strong. I was happy. And in the end, that was all that mattered. As we disappeared into the toy store, I knew he was still there. I could practically hear the wheels turning in his head. The questions, the doubts, the regret. He couldn't possibly know the story behind it all. See, after the divorce, I was a total wreck. I wasn't just grieving the end of my marriage, I was grieving the dream of a family I had always wanted. I went to a specialist, did all the tests, and they confirmed the diagnosis: polycystic ovarian syndrome. The doctor was pretty blunt: it would be very, very difficult for me to conceive naturally. I felt like a total failure, just like Liam had made me feel. But a month after the divorce was final, I got this random call from a fertility clinic I had signed up for years ago. They had a new program, a clinical trial, for women with my specific diagnosis. It was a complete long shot, but I was so desperate for hope that I decided to try. And to my absolute shock, it worked. Not just with 1, but with 4 embryos taking hold. It was a miracle. A beautiful, terrifying, overwhelming miracle. I was going to be a mother. And I was going to do it all on my own. The next few years were a complete whirlwind. Juggling 4 newborns was an adventure in chaos, exhaustion, and the most profound love I had ever known. My life wasn't about me anymore, it was about them. My job became my passion, a way to provide for them. My apartment became a home filled with laughter and toys. My heart, once broken, was now overflowing. I had a new purpose. A new name. A new life. I never told Liam about the pregnancy. After the way he had left, I felt no obligation to share this joy with him. He had chosen to walk away from me because of a problem that, it turned out, wasn't a problem at all. My children were a testament to my resilience, not his. They were mine. Our little family was perfect just the way it was. We didn't need him. And yet, seeing him today, I felt this tremor of something I hadn't expected. Not anger, not even sadness. It was pity. A strange, quiet pity for the man who had traded me for a future he thought he couldn't have, only to watch that future blossom so beautifully without him. We were deep in the toy store, and I was laughing with the kids. They were so excited, running from aisle to aisle. Lily was begging for a unicorn, Leo was shouting about a dinosaur, Mia wanted a new crayon set, and Rose, my sweet little Rose, was just pointing to a fluffy pink bunny. I was helping them decide, when I heard a voice behind me. "Sarah, My breath caught in my throat. I didn't need to turn around. That voice. I would know it anywhere. It was Liam. I turned around slowly, putting on my best, "I'm totally fine" face. "Hello, Liam," I said, my voice steady, even though my heart was pounding a million miles a minute. He was standing there, his hands in his pockets, his posture betraying a nervousness I'd never seen from him before. He was the picture of a man who didn't know what to say. "I can't believe it's you," he stammered. He glanced at the kids, who were still completely absorbed in their toy quest, then back to me. "I thought, I mean, you said." He trailed off, completely unable to finish his sentence. "You thought I couldn't have children," I finished for him, my voice flat. "And you were wrong." His face flushed with this mix of embarrassment and something else, a sort of dawning realization. The cruel words he'd once said to me were now echoing in this very room, a silent, public judgment of his past actions. Are they yours?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. That question hung in the air, heavy with all the unspoken history between us. He was asking if these beautiful children, the ones who had filled my life with so much light, were my own. And the answer was yes. In every way that mattered. "Yes, Liam, they're mine," I said, a fierce, protective love hardening my voice. "My 4 beautiful children." He looked at each of them again, as if he was seeing them for the first time. He saw Lily's fiery spirit, so much like my own. He saw Leo's adventurous eyes, a reflection of my late father's. He saw Mia's gentle smile and Rose's quiet grace. They were a part of me, a physical manifestation of my heart, my spirit, my strength. "I'm sorry," he finally said. It was a simple apology, but it carried the weight of 5 years of silence. I was a fool. A week later, my phone rang. The name on the screen made my stomach drop. Liam. I stared at it for a long time. Should I answer? What would I even say? I let it ring. He called again. And again. On the 5th call, I finally hit the answer button. "Hello, Liam," I said, my voice a little more strained than I'd intended. There was a long pause on the other end. "Sarah," he said, his voice hesitant. "I hope I'm not bothering you. You have my number," I said, the words coming out a little sharper than I planned. "What do you want?" Another silence. I couldn't stop thinking about what I saw. I have so many questions. We agreed to meet for coffee. A neutral, public place. The old-fashioned diner where we'd had our first date. It felt like a lifetime ago. He was already there when I arrived, sitting in a booth, fidgeting with a sugar packet. He looked up as I approached, and for a moment, the years melted away. I saw the young man I had fallen in love with. The one who had made me laugh until my stomach hurt. The one who had promised me a family. "Thank you for coming," he said, standing up. I sat down across from him. "I'm only here because I'm not the same person you left. I'm not afraid to face you anymore." He nodded slowly, a look of profound sadness on his face. "I know. You look incredible. You look happy." "I am," I said simply. "Now, what did you want to talk about?" He took a deep breath. "Sarah, when I saw you with those children, I was floored. You told me you couldn't have them. You said you were barren." Flinched at the word. "I didn't tell you that. The doctors told me it would be very difficult, maybe impossible, to conceive naturally. You were the one who used that word. You were the one who made me feel like I was broken." He looked down at the table. "I know. It was a horrible thing to say. I was scared. My family was pressuring me. They wanted a legacy, and I was so wrapped up in that. I didn't see what was right in front of me." "And what was that?" I asked, a challenge in my voice. You, my future, he said, looking up at me, his eyes full of pain. I had this dream of a family, and when it seemed like it wouldn't happen, I panicked. I left the best thing that ever happened to me. He looked at me, his eyes pleading. I have no excuse. I was selfish. I was cruel. I should have stood by you. I should have supported you. But I didn't. He paused, taking a shaky breath. And now, you have the family I always wanted. 4 of them, Sarah. They're so beautiful and happy. They call you, Mommy. And I have nothing. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I'm just working, going through the motions. I looked at him, and for the first time, the pity I'd felt was gone. It was replaced by a strange sense of closure. He had paid a price for his choices. A heavy one. So, what now? He asked, his voice barely a whisper. What do I do with this? Regret. You can't do anything with it, Liam, I said. Not with me, and not with them. You had your chance. You made your choice. You have to live with it. He nodded, a flicker of understanding in his eyes. He wasn't here to get me back. He wasn't here to get to know the children. He was here to get closure for himself. And maybe, in a strange way, I was, too. They're not mine, are they? He asked, a hopeful, but broken, note in his voice. I knew he was asking if they were his biological children. A part of me wanted to say yes, to twist the knife, to make him feel the full weight of his mistake. But I didn't. It wouldn't be fair to them. No, Liam, I said, a little more gently. They're not. We sat in silence for a few minutes. The sounds of the diner filled the void. The clatter of plates, the murmur of conversations, the soft hum of the air conditioner. It was over. The chapter was closed. He finally stood up. Sarah, he said, his voice thick with emotion. I wish you all the happiness in the world. You and your children. Thank you, Liam, I said, my own voice a little shaky now. I wish you peace. He turned and walked out of the diner without looking back. I watched him go. The man who had once been my whole world was now just a stranger walking away. That evening, the kids and I were getting ready for bed. Lily was in her pajamas, trying to teach her unicorn to stand on its head. Leo was building a massive Lego castle. Mia was drawing a picture of our ice cream adventure. And Rose was cuddling her new pink bunny, her little thumb in her mouth. I took a picture of them. A perfect, chaotic, beautiful picture of our family. I looked at the image on my phone, a wave of profound gratitude washing over me. This was my life. This was the family I had always dreamed of. I was no longer the barren ex-wife. I was a mom. I was happy. I was whole. And I wouldn't trade a single moment of this new life for anything. The next morning, the kids woke me up with hugs and kisses. Mommy, can we make pancakes? Lily asked. With chocolate chips, Leo added. As I stood in the kitchen, 4 little helpers buzzing around me, I knew that this was my happy ending. It wasn't the one I had planned or the one I had wanted with Liam. It was a different kind of happy ending. A sweeter, more fulfilling one. It was a story of a woman who was told she was broken, but who found her wholeness in the love of her children. It was a story of a heart that was shattered, but that was rebuilt, stronger and more beautiful than before. It was a story of hope, resilience, and the amazing, unexpected miracles life can bring. And that's the story. It wasn't the happy ending I ever expected, but it was the one I needed. You know, life throws a lot of curveballs at you. Sometimes it feels like you've been given a road you can't possibly walk. But I'm here to tell you that with a little bit of faith, a lot of love, and a whole lot of pancakes, you can build a new road. A better one. one that's all your own. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more inspiring African tales. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continue sharing stories that touch hearts and change lives. Until next time, remember, love, faith, and courage are the greatest treasures you can ever have. Thank you, and God bless you all. Bye.